Hi there, I'm Paddy Byrne. I just wanted to get this opportunity to tell you about a requirement I received yesterday and how I made that requirement, because it's quite an interesting one that I hadn't really come up against before in this new world of power apps and model-driven apps. So the requirement was that the customer was using customer service, Dynamics 365 for customer service. Some users were. Other users were using a custom model-driven app. And so they wanted to use the subject entity and that subject tree. They wanted to use that in this custom app. So to add the subject tree to the sitemap of the custom app, I'll explain about the subject map first, because I've encountered a few problems just adding that entity, making that visible on the sitemap. So just go over to my primary screen. This is Dynamics 365 for sales. I'm going to switch over to customer service. The subject entity, if you're not sure of what it is this one here. It's a special one used in Dynamics 365 for customer service to tell a user what it categorizes cases, categorizes customer service cases and other things. And it's got a nice kind of tree level here. That's quite handy. And so they wanted to use that in a custom app. So what I'm going to do in this demonstration is look how I added it to, I'm just going to add it to the Sales Hub app. This wasn't what they were using, it was a custom one, but it's the same process. If you look in the Sales Hub app, the app settings, it doesn't have the subject tree there. So the first thing I did with that was add the subject entity to the sitemap using the normal sitemap editor. That didn't work. What happened then was it just didn't appear at all on the sitemap. And so I had a look at what the subject tree item, sitemap item was. If I have a look at that, I'll show you what it is. I'm going to just edit my customer service hub. If I look at the sitemap, and here, there's our subjects item, and that's something else. It's something special. It's a dynamic page. I couldn't figure out how to do that, but luckily we've got a tool in the XrmToolbox, so I had a look at that. Let's just get rid of that. And there's a sitemap editor tool in here which allows you to do a bit more advanced stuff. It's a bit more, gives you a bit more control over the sitemap. So if I just open that up in the XrmToolbox, and I'm going to click load sitemap, and the first sitemap I'll load is the customer service one, because I want to have a look at what we're trying to add. If I go to the settings area, and I think it's in business settings, maybe not. Let's have a look at where it is. I think I've opened the wrong sitemap actually. Case settings. I think I've opened the wrong sitemap. I've not opened the customer service hub one. Typical. Let's have a look. I'll click load sitemap again. Let's see what we've got. Yeah, customer service hub. So I opened the wrong one. So let's look at our service management area, and it's in case settings, and that's the one we want there. And again, you can see all that special stuff. Now I could create a new item and copy that over to our sales sitemap, but what we can do, it's easier. If I open up another tab of the sitemap editor, let's open up our sales hub app. Just so we've got the two of them on the screen at the same time. And we want to add it underneath the LinkedIn integration bit. So check this out, there's a cool feature in the XrmToolbox, the sitemap editor here, where I can select an item, select that item, and export the XML of that. Now, I originally thought that would just export the XML of the whole sitemap, but you can actually just export the XML or view the XML of that one item. So if I click that, that gives me the sub area, the subjects sub area, XML in there. So this saves us having to export this a solution and export the sitemap and do it and edit the XML manually. We go back to, so we'll copy that to our clipboard, our notepad. And then we're in the sales app. What I would recommend you do first as well is just save a backup of this, because you're going to the territory editing XML through a third-party tool. So if anything goes wrong with your sitemap, you could get into some trouble. And we're going to add it to this group here. And you've got this other action within the XrmToolbox which adds component with XML. And again, for some reason I just never noticed this. So we can open that, paste in the XML that we copied from our previous app, our customer service hub app, and hit OK. And then if we just check that, let's make sure that all looks correct. And we hit update sitemap. And if we flick back to our app, so this is our customer service, our sales hub application, hit Control F5. We can see we've now got our subjects tree and entity added to our sitemap. So that's how that's done. I did that yesterday. That's the first time I've done that. Normally I would go in and edit the XML, but there's those tools within the XrmToolbox that just take away the complexity and the work involved in pulling the solution down, finding the sitemap item and editing the XML manually. You can just copy the XML from one application and then use that and add component via XML tool to add the component into your custom app or your sales hub app or any other Dynamics 365 or CDS model driven app. So that's quite handy. Just thought I'd share that with you. All the best.